For this problem, we have to figure out whether a flamingo, a fish, or a cat has the most legs. A flamingo has 2 legs, a fish doesn't have any legs, and a cat has 4 legs. So a cat has the most legs, so the answer to this problem is a cat. For this problem, we have to figure out who Lotus's neighbor is. We know that Archimedes has one neighbor, so Archimedes must be at one of these ends. So let's say he is here. We know that his neighbor is not Zeus, so this is not Zeus. We also know that Lotus has one neighbor, so that means Lotus must be on the other end. So that leaves us with these 2 dogs left. And since this is not Zeus, this must be Zeus. So Lotus's neighbor is Zeus, so Zeus is our answer. For this problem, we have to figure out how many homes have pets. We know that there are 10 houses on the street and all but 1 have a pet. So that means out of these 10 homes, only 1 does not have a pet. So we could do 10 minus 1 and we get 9. So 9 homes have pets. For this problem, we have to figure out how many treats Ella had left. Ella had 16 treats in the beginning, and she gave away 2 treats to Marcy and 3 treats to Phoenix. So we can do 16 minus 2 minus 3 and we get 11. So 11 is our answer. For this problem, we have to figure out who had what pet using the clues given above. Our first clue is that Bianca's pet can't fly, so that means she does not have a bird. Our second clue is that Cody's pet has fur and so does Donovan's, so that means their pets cannot be a bird or a fish. Our final clue is that Donovan's pet does not bark, so that means Donovan must have a cat. And that leaves 1 empty slot for Cody, so Cody has a dog. So Bianca has a fish, and Amanda has a bird. For this problem, we have to figure out how heavy Betsy is. We know that Betsy weighs 9 pounds less than Poochie. Poochie weighs twice as much as Billy, and Billy is 14 pounds. To solve this problem, we can work backwards. We know that Billy is 14 pounds. We also know that Poochie weighs twice as much as Billy, so we can do 14 times 2 to find Poochie's weight. So Poochie is 28 pounds. We also know that Betsy weighs 9 pounds less than Poochie, so we can subtract 9 from 28 to get Betsy's weight. So that would be 19 pounds. So Betsy is 19 pounds. For this problem, we have to figure out how many dogs the shelter has. We know that the dog shelter has between 50 and 80 dogs. We also know that when Amina groups them by 4, there are 3 dogs left over. When she groups them by 7, there is 1 dog left over. To solve this problem, we can list out numbers that satisfy one of the conditions. So first let's list out numbers that satisfy the second condition, which is that when she groups them by 7, there is 1 dog left over. So 50 satisfies this, 57, 64, 71, and 78. Now we can check the first condition. We can subtract each of these numbers by 3 and then divide by 4. If the remainder is 0, that means that number is our answer. In this case, 71 is our answer, because when we subtract 3 from 71 and divide by 4, we get a remainder of 0. So our answer is 71. For this problem, we have to figure out how many bags of dog treats and dog toys Lisa bought. We know that dog treats are $12 each and dog toys are $7 each. We also know that Lisa spent exactly $100 at the store. To solve this problem, I would use trial and error. I would start from 0 bag of dog treats and work my way up until the remaining amount of money is divisible by 7. If you do this, by the time you reach 6 bags of dog treats, you will find out that the remaining amount of money is divisible by 7. So we can check this. So let's do 6 times 12. That will give us 72. Then we would do 100 minus 72, and that would give us 28. And 28 divided by 7 is equal to 4. So the answer to this problem would be 6 bags of treats and 4 toys. For this problem, we are trying to figure out the sum of a dog, a cat, and a parrot. So looking at our first equation, we see that a dog times a dog is equal to 16. And the only number that works for that would be 4, since 4 times 4 is 16. For our second equation, we can divide both sides by 4, since a dog is equal to 4. So that would mean a cat times a cat is equal to 9. So a cat must be 3. For our third equation, we see that a dog times a cat times a pair is 72. We can divide both sides by a dog and a cat. So we would do 72 divided by 4 divided by 3. And that would give us 6. So pair is equal to 6. Finally, we would add all of these up. So we would do 4 plus 3 plus 6. And we'd get 13, which is our answer. For this problem, we have to figure out how many of each pet are on Dorian's street. We know that the hamsters and turtles add up to 16, the turtles and parrots add up to 10, and the hamsters and parrots add up to 8. So let's have H represent the hamsters, T represent the turtles, and P represent the parrots. Based off this problem, we can write that H plus T is equal to 16, T plus P is equal to 10, and H plus P is equal to 8. Adding these three equations, we get 2H plus 2T plus 2P is equal to 16 plus 10 plus 8. If we simplify this, we get 2H plus 2T plus 2P is equal to 34. If we divide both sides by 2, we get that H plus T plus P is equal to 17. That means there are 17 pets total on the street. To find the number of parrots, we can do 17 minus 16 because we're subtracting out the number of hamsters and turtles. So 17 minus 16 is 1. So the number of parrots is equal to 1. To find the number of hamsters, we can do 10 minus 17. So we get 7. Finally, to find the number of turtles, we can do 17 minus 8, and we get 9. So this is our answer. For this problem, we have to find the total weight of the rabbit, dog, and cat in the picture below. To solve this problem, we can add up the animals and weights of these three scales. So that would be 2 rabbits plus 2 dogs plus 2 cats is equal to 10 plus 20 plus 24. So that means 2 rabbits plus 2 dogs plus 2 cats is equal to 54. If we divide both sides by 2, then we get a rabbit plus dog plus cat is equal to 27. And that happens to be the case on this scale. So the answer to this problem is 27. For this problem, we are trying to find the smallest number of full bags required to pack exactly 2005 treats in bags of 5 or 12. Since we are trying to find the smallest number of full bags required, we want to try to pack the treats into bags of 12 when possible. If we divide 2005 by 12, we will get a 167 with a remainder of 1. Since the remainder is not divisible by 5, this doesn't work. Next, we can try 166 bags. If we do 166 bags of 12, we will have a remainder of 13, which is also not divisible by 5, so this doesn't work. We can now move on to 165. We get a remainder of 25. So this is divisible by 5, so this works. That gives us 165 bags of 12 and 5 bags of 5. So our smallest number of full bags required is 170. For this problem, we have to figure out how many cups of dog food will be left in a bag containing 75 cups after 2 weeks. We know that Laura feeds her collie 3 cups of dog food each day and feeds her bagels 12 cups of dog food each week. First, let's find how much dog food Laura feeds her collie over 2 weeks. We know that there are 14 days in 2 weeks, and she feeds her collie 3 cups of dog food a day. So we can do 14 times 3 and we get 42. Next, we can find how much she feeds her beagle over 2 weeks. We know that she feeds her beagle 12 cups of food each week. So over a 2-week span, she would feed her beagle 24 cups. Now we can subtract the cups of dog food she fed her dogs over 2 weeks from our 75 cups. So we can do 75 minus 42 minus 24, and we get 9. So our answer to this problem is 9 cups. For this problem, we have to figure out how many dog owners own no cat. We know that in the community of 416 people, everybody owns a pet. We also know that there are 278 dog owners and 226 cat owners. To find how many people own a cat and a dog, we can first add up the number of pets. So we can do 278 plus 226, and we get 504. Since there are only 416 people, then we can find the number of people that own a cat and a dog by subtracting 416 from 504. So we can do 504 minus 416, and we get 88. So that means 88 people own both a cat and a dog. We also know 278 people own dogs, but out of those 278 people, 88 of them also own cats. So to find the number of people who only own dogs and own no cats, we can do 278 minus 88, and we get 190, which is our answer. For this problem, we have to figure out the total students that are in the class. We know that 15 have cats, 12 have dogs, 12 have both cats and dogs, and 8 have neither cats nor dogs. We can use a Venn diagram to help us solve this problem. Let's have dogs on this side and cats on this side. Based off the problem, we know that 5 students have both cats and dogs, so we can write 5 right here. We also know that 8 have neither cats nor dogs, so we can put 8 outside of the Venn diagram. We also know that 12 students have pet dogs. To find the number of students that only have dogs, we can do 12 minus 5 and we get 7. To find the number of students who only have cats, we can do 15 minus 5 and we get 10. Now we can add up the numbers in each of the categories. So we can do 7 plus 5 plus 10 plus 8, and we get 30. So 30 is our answer. For this problem, we have to figure out the price of one bag of each type of cat food. We know that Charles spent $43 on 3 bags of Frisco treats and 4 bags of savory salmon. We also know that he spent $54 on 3 bags of Frisco treats and 6 bags of savory salmon. Let's have F represent the cost of the Frisco treats. And let's have S represent the cost of the salmon. We know that 3F plus 4S is equal to 43, and 3F plus 6S is equal to 54. We can subtract this equation from this equation, and we would get 2S is equal to 11. We can divide both sides by 2, and we get that S is equal to 5.5. So now we can plug 5.5 back into any of these equations to solve for F. So we would have 3F plus 4 times 5.5 is equal to 43. We can continue to simplify and we'll get 3F plus 22 is equal to 43. We can subtract 22 from both sides to get 3F is equal to 21. And now we divide both sides by 3 and we get F is equal to 7. So this means a bag of Frisco treats costs $7 and a bag of savory salmon costs $5.50. For this problem, we have to figure out the value of a dog times cat plus fish. We are given some equations on the left here. So we see that a hamster times a dog times a hamster is equal to 32, and a hamster times a dog is equal to 16. So we can divide this equation here by this one. So the dogs and one of the hamsters will cancel out. So that leaves us one of the hamsters is equal to 32 divided by 16. So a hamster is equal to 2. Since a hamster times a dog is equal to 16 and a hamster is equal to 2, we know that 2 times 8 is equal to 16, so a dog would be 8. We also know that 2 fish plus a hamster is equal to 42. A hamster is equal to 2, so we can subtract 2 from both sides. So that would result in 2 fish is equal to 46. And 46 divided by 2 is 23, so a fish would be equal to 23. Finally, to figure out the value of a cat, we can simply do 27 minus the value of a dog and the value of a hamster. So that would be 27 minus 8 minus 2. So cat would be worth 17. Now we can substitute these pets for their corresponding values. So to figure out what a dog times a cat plus a fish is, we can do 8 times 17 plus 23. And that gives us an answer of 159. For this problem, we have to figure out what fish Kevin buys when he is given $100. He must spend all of the money and he must buy 100 fish. He must also choose at least one fish of each type. So let's have G represent the number of guppies he buys, D represent the number of damsels, and T represent the number of tongs. Based on the problem, we know that G plus D plus T is equal to 100 because he is buying 100 fish. We also know that the price of the fish adds up to $100 because it is given in the problem. So 0.25 times G plus D plus 15T is equal to 100. We can then subtract the second equation from the first equation so the D's cancel out. So we will do G minus 0.25G and we will get 0.75G. We will do D minus D to get 0. And then we would do T minus 15T to get minus 14T. And 100 minus 100 is 0. So we know that 0.75G minus 14T is equal to 0. We can only buy a whole number of fish, so we have to make 0.7G a whole number. And the smallest number we can multiply to 0.75 to make it a whole number is 4. So we will multiply all of these by 4. So we would have 3G minus 56T is equal to 0. So this means there is a 3 to 56 ratio of tongs to guppies. Since Kevin can only buy 100 fish, he must buy 3 tongs and 56 guppies. This is because if we multiply this ratio by any number other than 1, it would result in more than 100 fish. To find the number of damsels, we can simply do 100 minus the number of tongs, which is 3, minus 56, which is the number of guppies, and we get 41 damsels. So this is our answer.